Is our body ours? It's an illogical question for many of us. Most of us answer, of course, it's ours. Is our mind ours? This question seems even more absurd and illogical. What if I ask, are our consciousnesses and therefore our existence ours? What if it's all a delusion? I'm not talking about spiritual emptiness or religious interpretations. Do we own our consciousness, or is it something manufactured? According to Foucault, the answer is clear: no. Let's talk about his work.
Yes, the human being is an invention. In the 19th century, even at the beginning of the 20th century, people thought that human being is a fundamental reality which we can study.
Man is something invented at the beginning of the 19th century. The objectification of the body by power and the exploration of the body as its target continued throughout the classical era. However, as a result of series of developments in the 19th century, the body ceased to be the site of torture and punishment. It became the site of correction, aesthetic and shaping. From this point on, the body, which had been tamed by torture in many fields, from medicine to the legal system, became the subject of keeping it alive and making it fit for life. Until the end of the 18th century, the social control of the body is passed through punishment and confinement. The death penalty consolidates absolute power through monarchs. The rationalization of industrial work and change in rationalization began transforming the body from a hoe or a hammer into a machine compatible with industry. A body compatible with the machine, which was the essence of the Industrial Revolution, had to be machine-like and able to use the machine. For bourgeois liberalism to be possible at the level of institutions, the body had to be surrounded by what Foucault calls micropower. Advances in technique made this encirclement possible. Bodies and behaviors were categorized under the strict security and disciplinary measures. The mechanization of the production apparatus and the new principles of life that had to be imposed on the bodies that operated the machine began to be taught in schools. The increase in schools popularized discipline and knowledge based on new disciplines. Foucault makes a distinction between knowing and knowledge. Knowing is an act whose output is subjectification, knowledge change. But knowledge is an act in which power is thoroughly infiltrated. In an age of increasing knowledge of the body and the human psyche, power makes a much sharper transition to bio-political processes. The way power tends to transform reorganizes science, and the act of knowing becomes the basis of subjectivation. Knowledge of emotion, health, sexuality, and nutrition transforms people. Mass media and new ideals integrate the structure of the human being into the orientation and new forms of power. Man becomes a discourse of his age. Life is made up of new forms of discourse of power. This is how biopolitics has become a great social medicine applied to the population. Life becomes part of the sphere of power. Life is completely colonized. As knowledge increases, life moves away from natural phenomena and is produced by biopolitical strings. The non-madness becomes the absolute law over madness. The boundaries of normal and deviation are sharply defined. Biopolitical practices work to transform the deviant into the normal. The principles of normalization apply to almost all fields, and psychological science has long been centered on this. Psychiatry reconstitutes madness as an object of knowledge. With various forms of exclusion it removes from life. The madness doesn't fit into ergonomics and has no economic value. Thus, with normalization strategies, the concept of citizen is established from the 19th century onwards. The citizen is a robust and healthy character who is at the center of the economy. As a producer and consumer, has a mind suitable for life, lives their mind through all normality and takes good care of their body. He becomes a person who adapts to the system and accepts all the values of the state wholeheartedly. With the acceptance of citizenship and not questioning all normalization, the objectification of the body for power is also accepted. Goodbye and see you in the following video.